Find the pelvic floor, pulling in, take 100%. Not that it's taking all your concentration, try not to hold the breath, then find that TVA. We tend to hollow that one down to the hips. So pulling in, hold for a second, and then slow release. We're going to do it 10 times. Keep the shoulders relaxed, muscles in the face relaxed, feet relaxed. Here we go, in and out, and in, out, in, out, in, and out, in, out, and breathe in, out, in, out, 3 more, in, out, in, out, and in, and out. Just halfway then, so 50%, hold it in there. Just check that you're not holding the breath. We're going to go in expansion breath. So I'll show you, I haven't actually done this one with you before. So you're going to come palms together, bend your knees and just go nice and low, almost like a squat. You know, you're just kind of coming inwards is the idea. And that's when you're going to breathe out, because you're going to breathe in and you're going to reach out. So it's breathing in and then breathing out. When you come into the centre, breathing in, try not to let the knees pronate in, try not to let the arches underneath the feet pronate in. Think about tucking the pelvis under as you reach up and breathing in. It's called the expansion breath, it comes from yoga, but it is quite nice in a way of opening out the chest, quite energizing. Your pace, your breath. So if you want to have any pauses anywhere at the top or the bottom, go 3 more. So if you can tuck your chin in when you're going nice and small. Last one. Then coming back into centre. It's quite an energizing practice. Let's go neck, shoulder, glide, and then side bend. So arm up, level with your shoulder. Now just check you're pulling in the core, your pelvis is tucked under. Maybe sometimes I hold on just to check it's engaging. Then you've got your shoulder glide, reaching out, centre, reach the arm up. Then take it over for that side bend. And release. We'll go to the other side. Neck release, ear down to shoulder. Shoulder glide, try and keep the hips still. Centre, reaching up, and side bend. Your pace then, so if you want a little bit more flow and you don't want to pause too much on each section, just going through, you go for that. If you want more time, you can slow it down. Try not to lean forwards too much or lean back in the side bend. We go 1 more each side. It's getting a little bit further into each bit. Reaching further to the sides. Maybe working a little bit more into your side bend. And then coming to centre. Slow roll down, so chin to chest, bending in the knees. Slide the hands down the legs. And then uncurl. You can always just go halfway with these. 2 more. Chin into chest. Sliding the hands down. Coming all the way down and then slowly lifting back up. Last one. Start with the shoulders. Chin tucks in. Press down through the feet. Growing back tall. Okay. Hip circles next then. Press hands on hips. You can soften through the knees. Just exploring the space like your water. And you're just spiraling in the sink, exploring all that space around the sink. Other way around. can really dip the chest forwards, exploring that hip circle. Shoulder circles, so lift the shoulders up to the ears, circle them around. If you find it more useful, go with the elbows. And just drawing big circles. Getting into any tight spots. Arm circles, breathing in left, breathing out release. Keeping an eye in here on the pelvic floor, TVA, tucking in. Ankle circles, so we'll go down to the feet. So just take the balance into one foot and then just circling other way around. And then the other foot. Knee circles, this is a funny one. Did this one in Kenya a little bit. They kind of circle together and then back around the other way. Going with the wrists in, figure of eights with the wrists, interlink the fingers. We'll do a bit of band work in a minute, so it's quite important that the wrists are quite warmed up for that. Okay, let's go back down to the feet. Take the balance into one foot. Then we're going to calf raise, so if you can do 8 of these. So just press down into the foot, lifting up the heel. Think about the connections here, so the foot pressing down, the glutes squeezing, the pelvic floor engaging, shoulders relaxed, perhaps finding a bit of a focus point somewhere in front. And then swap legs. So first of all, find that balance. Equal weight round the foot. Then see if you can start lifting up the heel, rolling towards the ball of the ball of the foot. Engage with the big toe if you can. Squeezing the glutes. Whew. Then just give yourself a little bit of shake. We're going to go bands now, but I will put the option in on weights if you prefer weights. So if you've got weights, you could chest press here, which would look like that. If you've got bands, it's in and outs. So you want to work with just find this right amount of tension, because you can bring it all the way in, but there might not be the tension to get when you go all the way out. So what it will look like sideways on is you're just kind of going to level with the body. Think here now then, the core, so pull in the core, tuck the pelvis under. Stay strong in the wrist, so we're not in that position with the wrist, so just check that the wrist is over and higher than the fingers. Stay strong in the forearms as well. Try not to dip forwards with your head. What it might feel like that you're getting is your shoulder blades getting a little bit of a squeeze together behind the back body. And if you want to add in here, you go up and over, and you could pulse, palms facing forwards, and then up and over, out, up and over, pulse. So a bit like quite close to the body, it's not too far away from the body when you're pulsing. And then in and out, up and over, pulse. Last time, in and out, up and over, and pulse. Whew, I don't know how you feel, that kind of got my arms in. Standing on the band then, like a skipping rope. I need a bit more. I'm going to try and alternate legs with arms so we don't get too overly fatigued in one. Standing on the band, so you're holding on to the ends. Tuck pelvis under, pull in the core, and then just pendulum tilt. So you take the balance into one leg, and then the other foot just gently presses into the band. Check the shoulders are down and back. So this is quite a nice move for just bringing the shoulders down away from the ears. Once you feel like you've kind of got this balance here and you're softening that standing knee, you're not hyperextending that knee as you go over, you could perhaps put little pulses in. 4 little pulses. And then see if you can tilt that over. Don't forget to breathe. And that where you should find this is your glute med. So you should maybe be feeling, I'm just pointing to that there, side and back of your bum. And also working in balance, strengthening feet, strengthening ankles. 1 more. Okay, next one, go back to arms. And I've cut my head off on the telly. Scapular set. And this one you could, if you prefer, you like doing that one with weights, you can. Otherwise you can do this with the band. You might not come all the way to centre with the band because you're kind of wanting to play with the tension a bit more. Just check here so you're not back here with the elbows or forward. So chuck the elbows into your sides. Tuck the pelvis under, so just check you're not arching in your back to get round. It's quite hard work this with the band, but it's quite rewarding after. You notice it a bit more afterwards. Thinking about the length at the back of the neck, try not to dip the chin down here. So think about crown of head, lifting to ceiling. And again, you've got that idea of these shoulder blades squeezing together. So it's a nice little bit of posture work. Just 1 more of them, and the next one I'm gonna is a deadlift. So a bit of balance work here. You're gonna stand on the band. With 1 leg. Sometimes you've got to play around with where the band is on this. Standing on the band with 1 leg, the other leg is going to go back, and the arm, with the arm on the leg, with the leg that's standing on the band, that arm is going to reach forwards. Then you come back to centre, you could do high knee, and then extend, and you're, it's quite hard, and then you're reaching as a front raise with that other arm. So 1 leg back, and you've got your foot standing on the band, and that side, that same side, if your right foot's on the band, your right hand lifts. Try and keep your shoulder down away from your ear, because the shoulder sometimes wants to lift. What you'll get is the glute squeezing on that leg, back leg lift. And the work there on the shoulder with the front raise. You can sort of imagine here you're just watering the vegetables if you got a creative imagination. Then sort of sides, so we're doing about 6 to 8 on each side. Standing on the band. Maybe start with the leg lift, just get yourself in the balance, get into the leg lift, get the glutes squeezing. Find your eye gaze, find your focus, then put in your front raise. Keep an eye on the shoulders. Keep an eye on the wrist as well, so just that feeling that the wrists are higher than the hands, they're not dropping in there, you're staying strong in the forearm. Hopefully you're feeling the work a little bit there in the hamstring as well. So obviously it's kind of a bit of a work on the deadlift, so should be getting that feeling. Okay, coming back into centre. I'm going to put the squat in here, and we're going to do just the normal squat, but with the bands. Hold the bands, double them over, so you've got a bit more tension. Hold them tight, so you're really scrunching your wrists here. And try and stay strong in the forearm, strong in the wrist, so we're not dropping in there. Then work the hands away from each other. Shoulders down away from the ears. So you're working the hands away from each other, but kind of like there's this tension, isn't there? The shoulder blades are coming together. So we're going to go squat and then just release all of that. So squat, work the hands away from each other, use the band, and then just release it all. So keeping an eye on the feet in the squat, check they're parallel facing forwards. We're not allowing those arches to drop. Squeeze the glutes on the lift. Keeping an eye on those knees. And you're feeling that move for the shoulders at the top. Taking the hands away from each other, they're really working with the band. Working against the band. Trying to break the band into 2 more. Nice. Take a nice wide squat then. Bend in the knees, take your sumo. Take a little bit smaller, the same thing, you can work into this. Taking a big circle up and round. So I've gone about shoulder width with that. No wider. Try and stay still in the middle. Try and keep the head still. Find the core. Think of it more of a stretch, because I know I normally put weights into this. So see this as more of a big stretch on the muscles all around than the other way around. Again, try to keep your head still, facing forwards. You can go a bit lower in the squat maybe here. Just like you're a windmill and the hands of the windmill are going around. Last one. Okay, nice. Okay, let's put the bands down. We'll go down to the mat. It's a downward dog, so make your way down there. Send your hips up to the ceiling. You could always do puppy dogs if downward dog isn't suiting you today. Jazz walks, so just stretching out the backs of the legs after those calf raises. Think about sending the chest towards the thighs. Spread the fingers, spiral biceps towards each other. Check the feet are parallel, they're not kind of dropping, we're not dropping our arches to get into these stretches here. One more deep breath here in downward dog. Then coming into all fours. So we've got the option with the band here, which is just going to be a glute activation, or I'm going to put in the one we did last week with the weights. So I'll give you the options. Find neutral spine, so if you need to pelvic tilt. Expand the rib cage. Take a couple of nice big deep breaths in. Pull in the core. Tuck pelvis under. So the band option is the band goes behind the foot. Don't need, some of you know this one. I think I broke my band a few times on this one. And then you push into that band. So it's a really nice strengthener on the glute and the lower back. You're working with about 8 on each side. Otherwise, what we did last week, if you remember, if you want another option, is you've got a leg lift and then a tricep lift with the weight on the other side. So your choice, whether you want to repeat last week, so you've got your leg lift and the weight on the opposite arm. Or you're just working with legs, you're focusing on glute activation and lower back. You're pushing out into the band, 8 on each side. Try and keep that kind of neutral spine, try not to arch the lower back. Keep the focus there in the glutes as much as you can. Eye gaze to the front of the mat. Shoulders relaxed. You'll probably start to feel it on the last couple of them. And then you can swap your legs and when you've done your 8. And the same with if you're doing the weighted ones. Swap over now, do 8 on the other side. And it's the same one. Pushing in. Let's exhale into the extension. Try not to look back down at the band. I know it's tempting, so just looking forwards to the front of the mat. Try and feel it as much as you can. Keep the connection in there with the core. Exhale to extend. Once you've done your 8, we're going to release, we'll go towards the low lunge, but I will wait for everyone to join us. Just stepping forwards when you're ready though. Find your low lunge. Just stretching the front body, the hip flexor out on there. Then we could just reach the hands up towards the ceiling, spread the fingers, palms facing each other. Take a really big deep breath in. Breathing out, release. Then we'll go to the other side. It's just going to be low lunge. Check your hip width. Notice the feet here, are they turning into midline, particularly the back foot sometimes will turn in. Just keep an eye on that. Bring yourself up, find the stretch on that hip flexor. Then if you're ready, reach the hands up, the fingers, spread the fingers. Kind of see if you can get your shoulders down. Length at the back of the neck, crown of head shines to ceiling. Big deep breath in, widen rib cage. Breathing out, soften, release. Okay, from there then, we're going to come down into Sphinx, elbows underneath the shoulders. Send the hips down into the mat, but lift up the heart. Think about that crown ahead, just lifting, rising to the ceiling. So you could stick with that and just really work with the breath, expanding through the rib cage. If you want more cobras, you can lift and lower. So this is kind of lower back work. Breathing in left, breathing out lower for your cobra. Sending the breath up to that crown of head and releasing down. Just one more breath. Lower yourself down, just resting your head on your hands. Again, working a little bit with glutes, squeezing the glute, leg left, and then return. So squeeze glute, lift the leg, and replace. Think about the chain here. So the glute, then the hamstring, then the other side of the lower back. We're trying to get 1, 2, 3 in that order. Glute, hamstring, lower back. You can turn on the core here as well, so if you feel like you've got your pelvic floor working in there as well, that's quite good. So if you want to have a little test here, this is a lower back strengthener. You could try both legs, lift and lower. 2 more, and lift and lower. If that's too much, just go back to the one leg and lift and lower. So we're going to put this together with, it would be locust, but interlink the fingers behind. Lift head and shoulders, squeeze shoulder blades together as much as you can. And then release that down. Breathing out, lift. And breathing in, lower. Try and keep the forehead in line, the forehead down to the mat. The crown of head in line with the spine. So thinking more about the spine position here. Then if you're ready, you want more, lift the legs, both legs lift the upper body, hold it lifted. Use this now, just in this lifted position, breathe. If that's too much, you can bring it down, have a rest. Use it to kind of harness focus, strength, determination. One more deep breath. And then releasing that down, we're going to come up to a cat stretch. On all fours, chin to chest. Tuck pelvis under. Your choice if you want to explore a little bit with the space around the body with circles and then with the hips. Finding any, ironing out any tightness in the hips. Quite nice now, I'll put it in if anyone wants it, is using the band for cat to cat, cat to upward cat, cat to cow. Place the band kind of around mid-rib cage, and then you find the right amount of tension. You might have to play with that. You have the band tucked under your hands, and then you can cat to cow or upward cat, using the band to work into. Drift the chest forwards for your upward cat. Tuck pelvis under chin into chest. So you have to work quite hard into the band to get into the upward cat. You'll notice it when you come out of the band, this one. You won't notice it when you're in it. It'll feel quite strange, and then when you come out, you're like, ooh, yeah, I've just worked those muscles. Perhaps just one more kind of play there in the cat. Bring yourself down again then. We're going to go quad stretch. Holding onto the foot. Heel towards your bum. Rest your head down, relax. Just try and release here for a minute. Notice if your hips are tilted at all. Try and send your hips down towards the mat. And then just switching that over, quad stretch on the other side. Try and iron out the breath here. Slow things down. So option here, if you want, you've got bow and tilted bow, or you've got double leg kick. So both heels go up to your bum and lower, and you're trying to keep the hips, the pelvis still, because you don't want it to be pelvic tilting as you do that. You can then put a twist in as well, so you can then drop the heels over to the side, center, lower it down. Keep the core engaged, particularly pelvic floor will help on that one. Tilted bow, you hold on to both ankles, you're lifting up you're taking your shoulders back, lift up your chest, looking forwards, lift up your knees, release it down, and then see if you can just take it to the side. Big shoulder stretches in there. Have a play, see which one you want to work with. Bringing it all back to centre. I've got one more on our front. I know I've done quite a lot on our front today. This one you can put the band in. We did it in warm-up. It kind of works with your swan dive. So if you want, you could just work in your swan dive, which is lift head and shoulders, lower in cactus. So that's just working really with the top part of the spine, lift and lower. If you want to put the band in, you take that lift, but you're holding on to the band. Then you're going to take the band all the way back. Bring it forwards, and then you can keep going, taking it over the body in that way. Just be aware, especially if you've got any hypermobility, as you take it over, you're not hyperextending in the elbows, so you might want to put a bend there in the elbows, especially if you know you've got hypermobility there. And in the shoulders, same thing, you don't want to be hypermobile, taking your arms back. Breathe out as you lift and extend. Okay, bringing it all up, just leaving the bands to the side then. Nearly on all fours, but we're going to fingertip push up here. So you want to be a little bit over all fours, so we're going to let the hips drop, but go up onto your fingertips and take your hands off the mat, so they're on either side. Then bring yourself forward slightly, almost like a front plank position in here. Bending in the elbows, lower yourself down and lift. And you might feel like the shoulder blades go together on that. So think of it more as a chest stretch as well. It's quite a nice way of visualizing it. Use the core, just check you're tucking the pelvis under. We're not kind of arching in lower back with these push-ups. You might only go halfway and then up if you're finding all the way down a bit too much. 2 more. Really good strengthener there for wrists and forearms too. Okay, sitting back to the heels, child's pose. If that doesn't suit you, you could go puppy dogs. Bring the forehead down. A little bit more work with shoulders if you want a stretch. Reach one hand forward, thread the other one underneath to the side. Shoulder stretch with child's pose. 4 deep breaths each side. Sending that breath to the lower back, expand. And then the other side, reach one hand forward, thread the other one underneath that arm. Drop that shoulder, drop the head. Send the breath to the lower back. Okay, coming, check my time. Pick a side then. We're going to do a seated twist. I'm going to give you a few little options to lift it if you want to lift it. If you want a bit more resistant work. Breathe in, reach the arm up to the ceiling. Breathing out, thread it through. Drop the shoulder, drop the chin. Nice little twist through the body. It's good on the internal organs getting a little bit of a squeeze. So if you want more here, you can lift it up. You've got your knee down option, and then the twist kind of comes down towards the back, that foot that's on where the bent knee is going to be. Or you've got legs straight, and the top leg just wraps in front of the bottom. You reach up, and then you twist, goes down to your ankles. It's a slightly different twist. Two more, whichever version that you're working with. Try and breathe out into that twist. Bring it down then, we're going to go clams. So you can put in your little bands if you want to. Just above the knee. Bend the knees. Heels just lifted as high as hips and all in line with shoulders. Like you're going to fall forwards. Just lift top knee lower. Check that you're just engaging the core. Maybe even place your hand there just see if you can notice if it's got any tension in there. Try and keep the feet in the same position as you're moving the knee. So we're not kind of moving the hips in any way. That would be a different move. So really try and isolate it into the glute med. Should probably start feeling it now. 10 to 20, we start feeling it really. Hopefully after band tonight you feel quite sort of springy. I often find the day after band I feel particularly springy and strong. Hopefully you'll get that. Lengthen out the legs then. Just going to do a couple of double leg lifts for a bit of a stretch. Lift top leg, lift bottom leg, lift rib cage. Take the full body stretch, so take the arm over. Bit of a squeeze, so point the toes, draw in the core, squeeze the glutes. And then just see if you can do a nice big circle with this top hand. Stay lifted, stay in that balance position. Nice and slow with the circle. And then we'll lower it all down. We'll go on to the other side. Started with the seated twist. And then you could add in your various progressions if you want to. Might be tighter on this side. Just because you left it. You left it for the second way. Breathing out into that twist. Opening out at the top. Drop the chin. Drop the shoulder. Expand the rib cage on the inhales. Then if you want to do the lift, whether you want to try a couple with the knee down, slightly different into that twist. Just to warm up through the shoulder. Whether you're going straight up, top leg goes in front, top foot sits in front, reaching up. It's quite tricky in socks if anyone else is experiencing that. Slipping on their mats. I think in that top version as well, the hips almost get sent up a bit down with doggy as you reach round. Last one, whichever version that you're in, into that twist, exhale. Then lower it down, you got the clams. Quite important to drink quite a bit of water after doing quite a few of the twists in Pilates, if that's a useful prompt. You probably do it anyway, but perhaps a nice pint of water when you finish the class. Bending the knees, heels in line with hips, in line with shoulders. Then find the core, lift and lower. 10 to 20, whichever your magic number is. So keep an eye on this hip here, so you're not opening the hip, maybe even hand there. So you can feel the hips not opening in there. And you can feel it around the back, glute med. Keep working with the core. And it's really tempting to look down at that as well, but try not to look forwards. If you can. Breathing out lift, breathing in lower. How's that feeling about there? Straighten the legs. Lift top leg, lift bottom leg, lift the rib cage. Start to squeeze, give everything a squeeze. Point the toes, squeeze your bum cheeks, pull your tummy in. Keep that rib cage lifted. Arm up and over. Reach through the fingertips. Big deep breath and then start your circle. Take it back first, bring it forward and then bring it round and forwards. Nice and slow, stay lifted on that rib cage, take the balance. And then release it down. Okay, nice, let's go on to our backs then. Find some length at the back of the neck, pelvic tilt. Find neutral spine, work with that imprint. Got that pelvic floor pulled in, TVA pulled in, length at the back of the neck, shoulders relaxed. Maybe take your feet so they create right angles behind the knees. Still got that imprint in there. Lift the arms up to the ceiling. You're going to go opposite arm, drop to the side, opposite knee, drop to the side. Then center. Try and stay with the imprint. Opposite arm, opposite knee. So the hip doesn't open in this. This is a pelvic stability exercise. So we're not changing what happens in the hip. The knee might not drop all the way down to the side. It's very slow. It's very small movements. Feel it in the lower back. So what are you noticing in the lower back? Is the lower back in touch with the mat? So just noticing that imprint, you know how it feels. We're going to go to our 100. It'll be 4 toe taps. It'll be 8 pulses and then an 8-second hold. Thinking about how you feel when we do that move we just done. The same kind of imprint you want in here. Here we go then. 4. These are your toe taps. 3, 2, and 1. Ready to lift and pulse. Keep your tummy still. Pulse your arms. Look at your knees. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingertips to knees. Hold. Rib cage is lifting up towards your hips. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. And again then if you want more, tabletop this. 4, 3, and 2, 1. Ready to pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Breathe. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. And again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready to pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you want more teasers. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. We've got 2 more sets. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Ready to pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Last time. 4, and 3, 2. We're still imprinting. 1 to pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. And breathe. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Give it a full body stretch. Everything getting a bit of a squeeze. Point toes. Squeeze the glutes. Pull your tummies in. Get your shoulders to touch your ears. Scrunch up your fists. Scrunch up your face. Take a really big deep breath in. Breathing out. Just let it go. Letting the muscles just relax. 10 seconds. Bring the arms down by the sides, bend the knees, tuck the pelvis under again, engage and imprint that lower back down, heel slide, hands on hips. Just see if you can keep the hips nice and still as you heel slide. If you've got any tightness left there at the front of the leg, maybe just see if you can iron that out as you heel slide here. We're going to add a little bit into this. We're going to take a chest lift, fingertips behind the head, lift, but without bringing the elbows in. So just lift, kind of chest, rib cage into a bit of a lift, not just shoving the neck forwards here. Then you've got your heel slide. And then try and keep those hips really still so they don't tilt side to side as you heel slide. If you feel like you've got that and you want more, tabletop that. Single leg stretch with that lifted position. Staying super still in the center. Really got to work hard on the imprint with that one. Breathing out as you do your single leg stretch. And then you could work a little bit more of a bicycle if you want to. So it's a little bit more fluid. You're going to work really hard staying in the center with that imprint, with that chest lift. You might have to breathe quite strongly. Exhale each time you cycle. Keep imprinting. 4 more. And release that down. That was quite a hard one. Arms up to the ceiling. Breathing out. You're going to take your thumbs back and see if you can dip your thumbs to the floor behind you. and then bring that back to center. And you're going to do that without letting the chest flare, without lifting up that imprint. Try not to lift at the chin, so keep that length at the back of the neck. Then your choice if you want to put in your double leg stretch here. Hug knees to chest, then take the thumbs back, just dip them to the floor behind. Lengthen out the legs. And a bit of a diagonal. Breathing out as you lengthen. If both legs feel too much, you can go to the single leg here. You can have one leg even on the floor, so you can do a kind of switch through, which is quite a nice way to support the lower back. 2 more. Arms out to the sides, feet down, both knees drop across to one side. It's that lower back stretch, release, spine twist. Breathe in center, take it to the other side. Chest stretch, you can look in the other direction, neck release. Two more. Just breathing out, moving it round. Imprint through the center. Did this one also, you can do it again, but I'm going to add in a stretch at the end. Crossing the legs. Cross the elbows. We're going to go eagle wraps here. And then cross the forearms, so if you can interlink the fingers. So we're going to take it, it's a nice little shoulder stretch there as well. Chin lifts, elbows come up, so we're doing a little crunch. Elbows go to knees, and then drop down. Try not to flop down. Breathing out lift, breathing in lower. You can do 4 with these. Then you unwrap the arms and see if you can hold on to ankles, or sometimes it's shins. Hold on and then see if you can release and lower it down with your head. So sometimes you have to crunch up to get the hold, and then see if you can lower it down. Take the stretch, so your legs are crossed. And the idea here is you're bringing your ankles towards your hips, your shoulders down away from your ears. It's a really nice glute stretch. Just breathe. Releasing that down, then swap the legs over. Swap the arms, if you can remember which way. Chin to chest. 4 crunches with the eagle wraps in there. Finding the core is particularly good for rectus abdominis, which is the higher one, just underneath the rib cage. Once you've done your 4, you release the hands. You see what you can grab hold of for the squeeze. Bring your head back down, your shoulders back down, relax. You could always put your head on a cushion there if you are struggling to get back down. 4 deep breaths. And that nice glute stretch. Unraveling then, we're going to hamstring stretch here. You can use your bands here if you want. I'm going to double mine over. You've got a few options with the bands. If you feel like you want, if you want feet and ankle work, you can put your foot into the length of the band and you can flex and point and then in and out, so that's quite a good one. If you just want the standard sort of the hamstring stretch, it's quite nice to double the band so you've got lots of tension there. Pushing out, one leg up to the ceiling, push your weight at the back of the knee. Find your hamstring, try and relax your upper body. Check that you've got your bum down on the mat, you haven't lifted. Perhaps might be working at pushing at the back of the knee just to get the stretch in there. If you've got your foot in the length and you want to do a little bit of flex and points in there, you can do your flex and points in and out with the feet as well. It's quite nice. Particularly good if you know you sort of out running or walking on quite rough ground and you can't always place your ankle if it's a bit boggy and things like that, or long grass, moorlandy type stuff. It's quite a good one to work with the band, just so your ankles have got that flexibility. Then take that leg out to the side for your sort of more inner hamstring stretch. You might need to balance yourself out with the other arm, the other knee. And then we'll go to the other leg. That's doing the same one you did on your other leg, your first leg. Again, just checking in with what we're doing here. So checking your bums down towards the mat. Your other foot's perhaps just kind of set on the mat. It's not coming in or out too much. Push your weight at the back of the knee. Shoulders relaxed. You've got that length at the back of the neck. Keeping an eye on posture. And then go to the breath and just check you're not holding the breath. Breathing fully. Whether you're doing your in and out, so your flex and points. Then we're going out to the side. Balance yourself out with the other arm. Bring it back into centre then. We'll go to that shoulder bridge, pelvic tilt. So just bring your heels in so you can touch your heels, knees and feet hip width. Pelvic tilt like you're just massaging the lower back. And then you can put in your shoulder bridge. Chin goes to chest. Take the arms all the way over. If you want the glute test in here, single leg lift, really squeezing the glute. And you can take your arms up and over here. So if you can do it 4 times just to test that glute. If that feels too much, you don't need to single leg lift. You could go up and down with your bridge. Or you could just try with the arms going up and over without your single leg lift. Swapping legs once you've done your 4. Don't forget to breathe in here. Get the hips as high as you can in your bridges. Keep squeezing in the glutes. Then you're going to lower it down, hug knees into chest, rock or circle. See if you can bring that up to seated position. Just take a check on the time. Going to do some roll backs. Again, the options I'm gonna allow you to have your choice with your options. Holding on to shins, you could C-shape spine to upright. Try not to lift the chin on that upright. So think about this thread going all the way through the spine to the crown of the head. So you might just be working with this one, or you might want your rocking. So you want to rock it back like a ball. Try and go through all the vertebrae with that rock. Come back to your hover position. You might like the shoulder stand. So you might want to bring that up and then take it over if you want more work with hamstrings. You might like seals. Soles of feet together. Hands under like a turtle if you know yoga. And then you've got your clapping, take it back. Coming back to your hovers. So I'm just looking at the screens to seeing which moves people are choosing. You can always do your C-shaped upright with a hover as well if you feel like you're not ready to roll back but you want to work with the hover. Okay, coming into heart stretch, so flex your feet, hands down by your hips, and then just thinking about lifting the heart. Take the shoulders down away from the ears. Expand the rib cage as you breathe in. Breathe out, but see if you can stay nice and tall and lifted, because sometimes we breathe out and we sink. Breathe in, stay lifted, and breathe out. Stay nice and tall. Going to put the roll down into this one then. So, but we're also going to put in back plank. So we're going to lift up the hips, flex the feet, lower it. Get that upright position as well. Think about the heart lift. Then roll it down halfway or all the way, your choice there. Then chin to chest. You're coming back to centre, back planks. Bring it down. Reach it forwards. Think about the chest reaching forwards there, not just kind of diving down with the head. Chest goes forwards. Back planks. Every time you're in centre, you've got one of these back planks. Then you're going back. So this testing out the abs in there. Remember, in the centre, you've got your back planks. And then you've got your forwards, you've got your hamstring stretch. Bit like rowing, but in a very exaggerated way. Last one, wherever you're at. Facing this way, grab a cushion or block if you like to have that to get your upright position. We're going to spine twist, and then I've just got a breathing exercise on the band to finish with. Palms together. Breathing, get tall. Breathing out, V-twist. Try and keep that length at the back of the neck. Option here, if you want it, you can put your bands in over the back, so they're actually touching your back. Watch the wrists here, that they're not dropping there, so keep the wrists nice and high. Breathing in to get tall, and then breathing out into your twist, so you've got that option in there. Again, just watching forearms, watching wrists. Try and stay nice and upright. Coming back into centre then, if you've got your band, we'll finish on a breathing exercise. Otherwise, you can just go yogic breath if you want. I'm just turning around so you can see where I'm going to put it on my back. So you want it kind of at the bottom of the rib cage, but you want it nice and wide. I don't know if you can see that. So you don't want it, you want it as wide as it will go on the band. But you can't see because my top's blue and my band's green. It probably really blends in. Bit like the cat to cow exercise we did. Breathe in, expand the belly. Breathe in, expand the rib cage. And then breathing in, get it to the back of the neck. So you've got your yogic breath and then release. But now we want to put a bit of tension into the band. Belly, rib cage, back of the neck, and then release. So you're having to work quite hard to expand. I mean, don't have to have your band wrapped round because we're just thinking about the lungs at the back, the back, in your back really, where they sit in your back on this. But if you want to, you could try and wrap it all the way around. And you've got the back body and the front bit, the lungs pressing into the band, if that's comfortable for you. Think about sending the breath up. So start it down towards the belly and lift it up. It might feel quite uncomfortable. It's when you take the band away that it's quite a satisfying exercise. Now do a couple where instead of when I say come in on the out breath sometimes, see if like the heart stretch you can stay lifted. So really big deep breaths in, working to the band, and then as you exhale, stay upright. Try not to crumble into the exhale. Expand tummy, expand rib cage. Exhale, but stay nice and upright. Just 2 more breaths. Then just let the band go and just try it a couple of times. Working this really nice long exhale, lifting the breath, and then just staying upright as you exhale, so not letting yourself kind of come in. 1 more. Ooh. Okay, namaste.